Hi, welcome to Inside the Moms Club, where being a mom is the coolest place to be. Here in the Moms Club, we believe that what embarrasses you now will make a great story later. And let's face it, you don't laugh sometimes, you're going to cry. Join us in having a good laugh together. I'm Monica Samuels. You are now inside the Moms Club, your private destination for all things mom.
Yes.
Welcome, moms. Welcome to Inside the Moms Club. I'm Monica Samuels, and I'm here with my co-host, Raha Dixon, and we're here to have a fun hour talking with a lot of fun, exciting moms. So
yeah, let's do that.
Well, now before we get to that, I got to vent a little bit. When you're with your mom friends, you got to vent a little bit.
Listening,
sometimes.
Mom, I apologize in advance.
So I'm going to vent about something. So I went on a vacation to Italy, and I purchased a lot of stuff that I had sent to America.
Okay.
And a delivery service who will go nameless, but is not FedEx or DHL, but is a major one. So I have a little beach house in Florida, and so I was having some really cool things sent to my beach house, which are only for the beach house.
Okay.
And the first day, a package arrives at my house in Texas it's addressed to Florida.
Oh, wow.
And then the next day, another package comes, and it's a glass fish. I have no place for a glass fish.
Wait, did you send the glass fish?
Yeah, to come to Florida.
And it came to Texas.
It came to Texas. So
oh my
I'm seeing a pattern here that everything that and nobody in Italy knew I lived in Texas. So how did it end up in Texas?
They are always listening.
Well, so
Monica.
I learned later that it actually did make it to Florida. It stopped in front of my house in Florida on the truck. It just never made it to the door because the delivery driver decided that he just didn't want to leave it at my house in Florida.
So he looked up where your other house was?
So they found me and assumed it was me, and they start sending me all these boxes, and I've got all these dishes that are about to come.
Oh my gosh.
And so I have to put a stop to this. So I call customer service of this delivery place.
I'm sorry for the person who picked up the phone.
Well, that's a good point, because there was no person that picked up the phone.
It's
one of those automated AI. You know how it goes. And they don't want you to talk to a human being. So then you go nuts and you start yelling in the phone, customer service, until finally I guess they have something that tips them off that there's a nutty, crazy woman on the phone. Let's finally let her talk to somebody.
Yeah.
So then I got to talk to human beings. Well, human beings were no help.
Really?
Because they had no good solutions. You know what the final solution was?
What was the
after
final solution?
5 days, and we'll just pick it up and send it back to Italy.
Ooh.
And I said, really? So that this package can go back and start the same trip all across, which gave me an idea. I thought, what if there was a reality show where the delivery company gets the package to the right continent,
I can't.
and then you have a certain amount of time to get it to where it's supposed to be. But you can't use one of the other delivery services because they might actually do a good job. Because, by the way, FedEx got my other package to me just fine. But you have, and the other thing is you don't tell them. See, their first inclination is like, I know what I'll do. I'll call customer service.
Okay, well here's me.
No, that's a dead end right there.
I'm really sorry about your problem, but if I just got a box full of gifts randomly from UPS, I'd be like, yay, I got some gifts. So sorry, Monica, not relatable.
You don't think that's relatable? Yeah, okay, so that's not a good one. But you know what? It did make me think about something else, and that is, years ago, when we were thinking about what are we doing with the Moms Club, what's the Moms Club show going to be about? Somebody said, well, let's do a reality show. What if it was a reality show?
Oh my God, I would.
And we
die.
all thought, that's a terrible idea, because for this reason, this perfect example is me on the phone with customer service, screaming and ranting the word customer service over and over and over. I'm like, I don't want that as what people see. Or even talking to your own children.
Yeah.
No, wait, I want to take a little aside here. I did learn a little helpful hint, and it's going to go on TikTok. I bet it goes viral.
Okay.
I did learn a little hint here. Guess what? that automated, you can get around that AI.
How do you do
say
it?
the word. Somebody that works for this company told me.
What's the word?
Just say the word complaint. Automatically, if you say the word complaint,
that's so
you
good.
get to talk to a person.
Okay, you know
now,
what?
They won't
this
solve your
lesson
problem,
is
but
worth it.
yeah,
Thank
see,
you.
I just wanted to put that as an aside.
Because I always say agent, please, and it does not get you
It's trained to. No, it doesn't want you to talk to anybody. It is coded to. We are not talking to a person. So
listening mom.
Yeah,
that
so
is
get
your
that
nugget
complaint.
from today's entire
Now,
story.
on the last day, I did say complaint. It didn't work.
Oh.
But
that's annoying.
By the time I said complaint 500 times, it finally said, "It appears that we're having a problem here. Let me put you in touch with, customer service." So I did finally get to talk to somebody. But anyway, getting back to the whole reality show thing, think about as a mom.
Yeah.
If your whole show is about being a mom in a reality show, and they're following you around all day long,
dude.
How would you act? I mean, your kids, would they get away with murder?
I don't know.
Or would they be murdered and it would be a whole other show? Because, it's like,
already
it's tricky.
My therapy bill is so high. I feel like if I invited the whole world to watch, then I just should get all my income to just go straight to mental health awareness. Because like you said, so many times we're screaming down the phone, customer service, and then we lose it. And it's just in our home and we look around and nobody's there. But if there's constantly someone there watching you, judging you, you have the added pressure of that. Which makes me think of the guest we have today.
I know. See, it's perfect. So we're going to learn all about this. Maybe at the end we decide that having a Mom's Club reality show is okay, but I still have a feeling that we won't, or it'll be called friendless or something, because at the end you'll have no mom friends. Because anyway, so we're very thrilled today to have a Bravo TV star with us.
Yes, we do.
She is a writer, producer, and reality star. In 2017, she did a stint on the Real Housewives of Toronto.
Nice.
And it was from that experience that she wrote her new novel called Most Hated.
I mean,
there you go.
There's the answer to your question, Monica.
Right there. However, she's also very involved in lots of charity work, which we're really excited to delve into here. And she's the mom of 3 sons. So this is going to be very interesting. Welcome, Kara Alloway. Welcome to the Mom Club.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm laughing listening to you, Monica, because if I was casting the reality show, you have a very high emotional intelligence, I can tell just from that little intro. And you're an independent thinker, a truth teller, and you would be my villain.
I would be the villain.
Sorry.
Okay, so that's what I was afraid of. That is why.
Not you, because you're a little bit more subdued.
Thank you.
So you might be, I'm not sure what your role is yet, but Monica, you're my villain.
I'm the villain. Okay.
Oh my God, I love it. Thank you for not picking me.
Well, and that's what I was afraid of. I don't want to be the villain. But that's the thing, too, because, in getting ready for this interview, I watched many of your interviews.
Yeah.
And you are a very delightful person. You seem so nice.
Yeah.
And you do, and you see all these charities that you're involved in. We'll get to that in a minute. But it's sort of, to me, it was like, this is like them doing a reality show of the missions of, or the missionaries of charity, and Mother Teresa ends up being the one that America hates. It's like,
unbelievable.
It doesn't make sense to me. So tell us, how does this happen? That such a nice, lovely person like you, are you cast as the villain? Or do you know you're the villain?
Yeah, did they tell you that? What's the deal?
So in answer to your question, very good questions. No, they do not tell you that you're the villain. Are you cast as the villain? 100%. Before the show starts, you do a psychological analysis and a physical, and you're told this is for insurance purposes for the production, as well as the psychological assessment that takes 3 hours. Okay, 3 hours. And it's a lot of, would you rather eat a cheeseburger or pasta? Because believe me, I was trying to second guess it. But you do these assessments, and you never hear anything more about it. When the show wrapped, I called the company that had done the assessments, and I said, hi, I'm wondering if I could get a copy of my psychological assessment, please. And they were very nice, and they said, absolutely, and, sent it off to me. And the first line of the assessment said, Kara has a very high emotional intelligence. So I just put that in my pocket, and I didn't really understand it. Fast forward, I'm at a class that's teaching me how to cast reality television with Jonathan Murray, who is the godfather of reality television. He did The Real World. He did The Simple Life. I'm taking notes in my off-brand moleskin, everything he's going to tell me. And the first thing he says is, your villain must have a very high emotional intelligence. Bing! I was like in the room by myself going, who can I call and share this with? Holy cow. It was destiny from day one. The second they got that psychological analysis back, they said, she's our villain. And what defines that is what I was saying about you, Monica. It's a fascinating It's a fascinating way that this happens in female-centric reality television shows, because it's very similar to the way life happens on the playground for 8-year-old girls. We are tribal. Women, by nature, we are tribal.
Yep.
And there is a hierarchy. And if you don't stay in step with that hierarchy and you have an independent thought, or you're a free thinker, you're outside and you're rocking the hierarchy. So you might get punished. And how do you get punished? You're gossiped about, you're shunned, or you're slandered.
You're bullied.
And voila. Or bullied. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's how it happens. When I finished the show, somebody put in my hands, and I have to find who this was or what article it was I read and thank the person. There is a book by Dr. Phyllis Chesler, who is this delightful 80-year-old psychologist out of Manhattan. Mm-hmm. She wrote it many years ago. She researched it for years. The first 7 pages are an apology to the sisterhood for having written this book. So this is how nervous Dr. Chesler was to come out with this information. Woman's inhumanity to woman. And it examines the way we as females interact with other females. And it should be required reading for every mom, for every 14-year-old girl. The things I learned in that book that I had experienced, as well as the things that I had doled out. I mean, very nice intro for me. Thank you very much for saying I seem like a nice person. I talk to my husband some days when I'm really tired. He'll give you a different POV. But just a fascinating book on how we mesh with each other. Then put the extra dynamic, as you did refer to in the beginning, of being filmed. So think about this. You brush your teeth in your bathroom. Now put a cameraman in your bathroom. Actually, put 2 cameramen in your bathroom. Put a mic pack on yourself, a boom operator, and a couple other people, maybe a director too. Put all those people in your bathroom and they say, brush your teeth. Are you going to be slopping the toothpaste all down and letting it run? Of course not. Your posture is going to be good. You're going to make sure your hair looks good. You're going to be standing. You're going to be, your teeth are already going to be clean anyway, because you don't want to really brush your teeth. So it's that whole added dynamic. So put that keen awareness into a relationship between 2 women interacting, and kaboom, do you ever have a different scenario?
Wow.
I bet. Well, it's interesting. So I wrote a book a few years ago for professional women taking time off and then going back to work. And so we interviewed 100 women around the country and asked them a lot of different questions. And one of the questions was, who was the worst boss you ever had? And they all said it was a woman.
Yeah.
And then my co-author and I said, maybe we're writing the wrong book. Maybe we need to write about how women aren't supportive of other women.
Right.
So I can imagine the dynamic of, adding a director and a film crew. And we actually did interview last year. One of your co-stars, Ann Kaplan, was one of our guests on the show. And so it is interesting to meet you all in real life. And then imagine how you were portrayed, in this show. It's really interesting. So now you've written a book called Most Hated. And how much of that can you say is semi-autobiographical, and so how much? Where did you draw from the things in your own experience on the show, and how much did you think this would actually make a cool twist to this whole dynamic?
I always wanted to write a story dealing with female relationships. I come from a mainly matriarchal family. I am one of 2 girls. Most of my cousins are female. With all respect to my father and my uncle, the women make the decisions. They decide, where the family is going to get together on holidays, things like that. I went to an all-girls school. So I was always fascinated in observing women interacting with other women, be it girls on the playground or, teenagers, girls in university. I was always fascinated with that. Then when I did Housewives, I knew I had found my backdrop. So I deliver a peek behind the curtain into reality television, production of reality television, and some things you might not contemplate about if you're a reality television fan and you watch it. But the book is also for people that don't like reality TV. I mean, that's not the basis of it. It really is females interacting with females, women reinventing themselves. There's a little bit of romance, a little bit of mystery. But in terms of how much of it is autobiographical, a lot of the emotions and especially the anxiety that I experienced filming Housewives informed the characters. And a lot of, as I said, what I had undergone as a female interacting with these other females, that involved the characterization. But I cast the show the book, how I would want to see a reality show. So there are no characters that are similar to any Housewives, present or past. It's all, if I was doing a reality show, I would want this character. I would want a social media influencer. I would want the CEO of a sex toy company because I want a CEO, but I want her to be a little quirky, a little bit, offbeat. I would like a fading pop star who's trying to revamp her career, who was once a teen singing sensation and wants to make a comeback. I would like the wife of a sports superstar because my goodness, what I learned in my research, what these women go through as the wives to sports superstars, I just found fascinating. And then I would also like, because this was another fascinating, trope of a woman for me, for lack of a better expression, I wanted a woman who was married to a man who had Me Too accusations against him. Because I was always fascinated by the Georgina Chapmans or the Annette Laurers. I wanted to hear from them more in interviews. We always hear from the victims, as we should first, 100%. But I wanted to hear from the wives of these shows. And I even remember on the morning show when they delved into that a little, I wanted to know more about the wife. I wished they had gone more into the characterization of that.
They ignored her.
So curious.
I don't know
really
why,
did.
but she was not a part of that. It was all about the seductress and all about the predator and all about the other co-host and her. That's a really good point.
That would make that would be a great reality show.
Yes.
So she's a character. She's a character in my book. She's one of the ones that, she's an American princess who was also an actress, and she marries an aristocrat and moves to England. And then 14 years later, she comes back home. She has to abandon her daughter over there because of legal reasons. She has to scurry home, and she wants to reinvent herself and then get her daughter back, so to speak. Wow. And how does she reinvent herself? And how is going on this show her best choice? At the same time, the way I created the show, I made it a new rendition of a well-worn show. So imagine if there was a show like Housewives, but all of a sudden they announced that Quentin Tarantino was going to be directing it. Because I needed a catch. I needed to say, why would these people want to do Housewives? Because what's interesting is when you're casting a show like Housewives, you don't get the A-list. And sometimes you don't get the B-list. Self-confessed C-list here of Toronto, right? You're going to get the people that are a little bit, lower on the social totem pole.
That's really interesting that you're open to admitting that. I dig that. Really and truly.
It's true, though. It's true. I am not tier 1 on the Toronto social scene or even tier 2. But the producers actually came to me because I had pitched a reality show to them dealing with the charity circuit and all the behind the scenes on a charity circuit. So sort of like $1 Million Listing meets My Sweet 16. Right. And they came back to me and they said, listen, we think you should do Housewives. And this is why. Your reality show that you want to do can be a spin-off the way Lisa Vanderpump spun off Vanderpump Rules. And I was sort of like, but wait, I don't want to be in the show. I want to produce the show. And they said, but this is a side door. You do this. And I thought, you know what? I've raised kids for, I was 15 years in raising kids and whatnot. I was a little bored. I like to try exotic food. I like to travel to new places. Yeah. Why not reality television?
So to be clear, that was suggested to you by your charity circuit, the people in that circuit?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was the producers. Yeah.
Oh, the producers.
I was pitching the
say,
producers this reality show about charities.
Yeah, a spin-off of a charity show.
I'm really curious. You're very honest. I really like that. I'm so curious. Are there things about yourself that you learned, oh my God, I totally do that, and I don't ever want to do that again in this process?
Absolutely.
What are some of those
100%.
things? Because we probably all do them, and we probably all have a mean girl in us that we want to get rid of that we may not know about.
Absolutely. So the biggest one for me was that I was a serial pleaser. So, I went into this thinking, well, a pleaser, that's like such a great thing. I want to be like Snow White with the bluebird on my shoulder, and I want everyone to be happy when they're in my presence, and I want to, great hostess. I want to make everybody feel comfortable. What I learned is that the serial pleaser is tied up in a ton of vanity because you want everyone to like you. If you're honest, that's what you say you're a pleaser. but you want everyone to like you. So I learned that a lot. And I was actually able to share that with my youngest son, who also suffers from that. I have a middle son who's like anything but a pleaser. God bless him. But my youngest son very much is a pleaser. And so I was able to share saying, let's get to the root of why you're a pleaser, because you want to be popular amongst your peers. So sometimes you change yourself to accommodate that and to accommodate what other people want, what will make them comfortable. So that was a giant lesson. Am I still a pleaser? 100%. I am a recovering pleaser. So I still find myself slipping into it. In fact, I just did this weekend and I said to my husband, I don't want to be that person again, and I don't want to do that anymore. So, you have to accept the fact. I think it was Alanis Morissette said, her parents sat her down at a young age and said, listen, there is a certain percentage of the population that is never going to like you, and you're not going to be able to change that. So accept it. Embrace the people that like you. If you win people over that like you, great, but move on. And I really learned that lesson, and it was so valuable. I wonder how my life would have changed if I had learned that at a younger age. And I think that's such a great takeaway for me.
How did that experience impact your children? Because I'm not sure what ages they were, but and your husband, if you might go in public and people actually see you and they might express that they don't like you. I mean, how did that affect your relationship and your family?
People are funny. Can I tell you, grocery store, out to lunch with my kids, I would have people come up to me and say, like, I really don't care for you. I really don't like you on the show.
Wow.
How do you come back to that? I'm just sort of sitting there going, well, hi, I'm Kara. Nice to meet you. This is a slice of my life. You are seeing a highly edited slice of my life. In all fairness, I didn't watch the show right away. And last week I was doing an interview and someone said, can you send me episode 1, season 1? And I thought, I want to watch this before I send it off. I just want to take a peek. I had seen it, but I hadn't seen it in a while. And I started watching it. Then I went upstairs and I snaked a drain in my middle son's bathroom. And it was more appealing snaking the drain than watching myself on the show, because it was so hard to watch the edit I received, the frankenbiting and the cherry picking. It was really distasteful. So how did my kids receive it? I mean, like, you have to know, when I finished this show, I was in a very, very dark place. I was a pariah. There is a scene in my book. There's an iPad scene. If you haven't read my book yet and you read it, I'm not going to do any spoilers here, but when you read the iPad scene, that happened to me. So that will speak volumes into, I, without a doubt, knew that I was going to, at that point, go under a bus. I knew I was going under a bus. And I was in my heart thinking, oh, what have I done to my husband's career? I mean, he's a lawyer, and here in Canada, like, it's very serious business. He still wears gowns when he, is in court and whatnot. I was thinking, what have I done to my kids socially? My eldest was in first year university at University of Miami. My middle one was in the 12th grade, and my youngest was, I think he was probably only in 8th grade. And I was thinking, like, what have I done to them socially? I would go for after school pickup or to my fitness club, and I would have other women say, we saw you on the show and we saw what you said, and that's not cool. And I would be like, but wait, you have to understand, that's not me. This is meant to entertain. I was a child actress. I went into this saying, okay, if the show is going to win, and I had to have the show win in order to have my spinoff, right? So I had a lot at stake here. I had to bring the drama. So there were days we would be filming and I would say, okay, not today. Today, I'm not going to bring the beast out. I'm not going to bring the drama. I'm going to sit back, fold my arms, and see what happens. And I would find myself going, well, I've just changed the channel on my own show. This is boring as anything. So time to bring her out again, and let's go. Let's stir things up.
And then your people pleaser side is like, let me contort myself, be the villain so they can get what they want.
You know what?
Exactly, because the people who control your edit are the producer. Bingo. Nobody has said that. Bingo. So not only was I trying to please my castmates, I was trying to please the producers by doing handstands. So you can imagine, when I found out that they had this absolute plan for me to not just to be the villain, because I didn't really get that, but I knew they had a plan to throw me under the bus and to tell a narrative that was not my narrative. I was like, wow.
Well,
you don't have to please us.
You know what you needed at the time and what you still need?
Yeah, that's right.
Is we have a great sponsor, New Calm, which is a streaming service for your brain, and
awesome
I
segue.
use it. It is, and if I'm going to be the villain in a show, if we're going to end up, I'm glad I already use it. It's great. It helps you. In fact, let's hear a little bit about New Calm.
Moms are amazing. Moms bring joy. They bring love. They bring listening, they bring empathy, they bring compassion, they bring food, nutrients, shelter. Moms do it all. In fact, moms are the key to the survival of the human race. And sometimes being a mom can be a thankless job. And we're here to say thank you. My name is Jim Poole. I'm the president and CEO of New Calm. And for more than 2 decades, we've been helping people solve stress, improve sleep without drugs. And we're here to help you. We love you. Thank you.
We absolutely love New Calm. I use it. It's a streaming service for your brain. It helps you with sleeping, focus, energy, calming you. I mean, I used it yesterday on the plane when I thought, I don't really want to be sitting here anymore with this guy with the tray table right in my face.
Wow.
It is an amazing product. And New Calm has been terrific to the Moms Club, and they love moms, as he said. They're helping moms thrive. And we about a couple of months ago, New Calm gave away one of their mastermind classes, memberships. It's a value of $3,500. And they're about to give another one. So stay tuned on our Instagram at Inside the Moms Club, and you might win a mastermind membership with New Calm.
Nice.
And now we're thrilled to have with us, because you know what? We have some Zoomer moms who've been listening in, and
That's
I bet have a million questions about the world of reality TV. So come on in, Zoomer moms.
That's right.
Welcome
Give
to
it
the
to
Moms
us
Club.
straight. Don't please us, Zoomer moms.
Hi, ladies. Hi, Zoomers. I know you have a lot of questions for Kara, so let me just go around and introduce each one of you quickly. But tell us a little bit about yourself, and then if you have a question for Kara, ask her a question. Helen.
Hi, I'm Helen Sauvage from Arlington, Virginia, and I've got an 11-year-old daughter, married, and I'm married, that is. And so I have a question for Kara. I definitely know what you mean about being a people pleaser. Can you expand more on that and how you are now a recovering people pleaser? Because I never thought about it from the perspective of, more of an attention seeking kind of thing, or you wanting the focus to be on you because you're trying to please everybody. So could you talk about how you are now in recovery?
Absolutely. So in the confines of this reality show, for example, the group mentality is, I'll give an example. The first night we went to a plastic surgery procedure party. I was told it was going to be a party for creams, for new creams and whatnot. So we go to this party, we get there, and there's a woman having live plastic surgery. And I found this like, wow, this is like crazy. So the next day they're filming myself and my castmate, and they say, just interact. And because the way the scenes are set up, it's like a director. So the director says, just interact and say what you think about it. So, I started saying, my gosh, that was crazy last night. And I felt like when they brought the woman in, it was like, lowering the goat into the velociraptor cage in Jurassic Park. And it was like insane. And I felt so uncomfortable. Everybody's standing around drinking champagne and eating mushrooms on toast while this poor drugged out woman was led into the room and had a thread lift in front of all of us looking on like this is crazy.
Wow.
And my castmate said, oh, we all thought it was fabulous, Kara. It was absolutely just fabulous. And I sort of stopped and went, okay, I have a decision to make here. Either I go, yeah, it was fabulous, or I take the left road and say, no, it wasn't. That's like messed up. So old Kara would say, yeah, it's fabulous, and just fly under the radar, because why ruffle feathers? Why cause waves? I want these people to be my friends. I don't want to, go against them. And that goes back to what Dr. Chesler talks about, the young girls who are 8 in the playground. It's discouraged to have an independent thought. And that's the disservice we do to our girls. We need to teach them not just to be the independent thinkers, but to celebrate others' independent thoughts. And it's okay if I find that disgusting and you find it decadent. See, again, here, I'm kind of doing it because what's wrong with this girl finding it okay? Like I need to, I can have dialogue with her and say, well, why did you find that so fabulous and so wonderful? But again, going back to the pleaser in me, I just want to fall into step. I want to fly under the radar. I don't want to share. And it's such a disservice to who I really am and to the real essence of who I am. So again, like I say, it's in the process and I'm going through the process, but you can speak your thoughts and you can speak your truth without offending other people. And again, part of the process is teaching other women not only how to ask other women what they need from them, but how to receive from other women when they share an independent thought. And okay, you might think this way, I might think that way, but it doesn't mean that it has to, you're out of my group or, you're no longer part of my silo here. Like we can have our independent thoughts. It's very interesting. Little boys do not interact in the same way.
It's really
little boys,
important
if they have,
to
a
live.
difference of opinion, they tussle or whatever. And little girls are taught, if you don't agree, put it in your pocket, walk away and deal with it later. And that is not the way to do it.
And it's not natural to us. So you have to consciously get used to doing that. Jen, welcome to the Moms Club. Do you tell us a little bit about yourself, and do you have a question for Kara?
Hi, Kara. I'm Jenny. I'm a mom of, I have 4 daughters and 5 dogs. The dog's out in them.
Wow.
9.
Wow.
Busy household. Yeah, I was actually wondering, I've heard a lot about obviously your challenging experiences while you were on The Housewives. What would you say your best experience was while doing the show?
My best experience was the scenes I filmed with my mom were great because my mom is so unfiltered. She happens to be 91 now. And at the time she was 87 or so. But the scenes I filmed with her, first of all, I will have those forever. She was entirely unfiltered. She was 100% on my side without even actually being conscious of being on my side. And, when I would ask her a question on camera, which I was trying to, say, what do you think this is appropriate? She was so much reinforcing how she had raised me and all sorts of things like that. And it's just such a precious memory that I will have forever. Also, she was just, people loved her. People also loved my husband too. I had fun filming with him. I was the villain, but those people, the majority were oh, we love him. Why is he married to her? Her mom is so great. How could she raise such a horrible daughter?
That is brutal.
But that was really fun.
Yeah. Wow. I like that.
Yeah, I can see why they put you through a psychological assessment before they put you through that. That's pretty awful. Laura, welcome to the Moms Club. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and do you have a question for Kara?
I do. Hi, everyone. My name is Laura Peterson. I am a model, an actress, and a mama to an incredible 9-year-old. I also was invited to be on America's Next Top Model, and I remember those questions. And Kara, that week was insane. I give you your due credit. So, being in the world of television, beauty, fashion, and all the things that you've done in that world, and it's absolutely so, for me at least, just an inspiration. And I'm sure you've seen, as I have in my industry, how women are now really encouraged to support and love one another. And that shift for me has been really freaking awesome. It gave me permission to be a little bit more real and a little bit more humble as well. And I just love what you're bringing to the table with that. What I kind of really want to ask you, though, is everything that's going on with AI and how it's affecting our industry, how it's affecting what our children are seeing on television, on YouTube, on, in magazine, pictures. They're no longer who this person is. And, that's what the SAG, issues are today. And I'm sure you're feeling it, you're seeing it, my industry's seeing it. And I would love to hear your insight and where you think that's moving forward and how, as we support women, we can also support our fellows in this community of this is just out of control for me at this point. So love to hear what you have to say about that.
It's really scary. Great question. And I agree too, especially the whole AI. And as a writer and an author, I had an encounter with someone at a book signing on the weekend, and we were talking about my media plan actually for the launch of my book. And she said, well, this is how I do all of my media planning. And she asked the ChatGPT her question, and it came out with the most comprehensive plan, worded beautifully. And I have to tell you, it's scary because as an author, I'm am I a dying breed? I mean, you can say, oh, they'll never understand the human condition. I don't know. They've got it pretty close. And the way this AI was able to not only give me my plan, but encourage me in the delivery of my plan. I mean, the intellectual, the emotional quotient was there. So I wish I had some answer to say to you, oh, don't worry about it. But, first of all, everybody is filtering. I don't filter my photos for the most part on Instagram. And the caveat being, if I'm standing beside someone that's highly filtered, I'm not going down. Sorry, I'm not going down. I'm not standing beside Paris Hilton without a wrinkle on her face looking like Grandma Moses there. But if it's just me, then I won't filter it. And I respect the heck out of people. Like I noticed Bethany Frankel doesn't do a lot of filtering. I respect the heck out of people that do that. And I think somebody said to me, if you could have a cause, with young people, young girls, as a result of this book and a result of everything, what would it be? And I was like, to eliminate gossip. Wouldn't it be cool if we could also start a movement about young girls? Like, if you filter, that's not cool.
Well, something you said,
get that out.
I love that. But something you said, I won't go down. No, really, that's something to think about. Why can't we stand next to someone who looks flawless? And why can't we acknowledge that we are also truly beautiful, not because of any wrinkle or unwrinkle, but because of the incredibleness that's in every single human being? Like, let's put that in there. And I suggest
it's a great point, actually,
that next time, push yourself to not stand next to someone who's fully flawless and don't. Well, you are you, and you're amazing. I don't know. This is
it's true. But if they're filtered, if they're filtered, and they're upping it, then I just want to be on the same playing field. If they're not filtered,
I get
I'm okay.
that.
I went to the bathroom one time, and I was fixing this was a funny story. I was fixing my makeup in the bathroom in Beverly Hills, and I looked to the side, and it was Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I know you're laughing because she is flawless, and I just I stood there and I went, oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. And she heard me and she said, like, what? And I went, no, it's just kind of, it's funny. It's a funny situation for me, like fixing my makeup and I look in the mirror and you're standing beside me. And she sort of gave me the same thing, Raha. She was like, what are you talking about? Knock it off.
Yeah.
Own it. Own who you are. So I love Zoe Saldana. Huge fan of hers. She's a girl's girl.
That makes me like her too.
That was my
awesome.
Zoe Saldana story for today.
Yeah,
but you know what? You're right. And I have to get around it. And it's a work in process.
We all are.
Yep.
I dig that. You're so cool.
Yeah.
You're so cool.
Beverly, welcome to the Moms Club. Do you have a question for Kara?
I do. My name is Beverly. I've been married for 20 years and I have 5 kids, 4 daughters and 1 son. My question is, what do you have any advice or tips for raising your kids as they move into adulthood? My oldest is turning 20 this year, and then my second one she just started her senior year today. So any advice helping your kids transition from being kids to adults?
Oh, you know what? That's a great question and probably a bad one for me because I have to tell you that because of COVID, I was almost an empty nester and then everybody moved home again.
Wow.
So it was nice because I had a chance to redo. So whereas before I was throwing sandwiches in the back when we were driving to swim practice and hockey practice, I got to cook and I was like, look, I'm actually cooking for young adults and whatnot. But I think the best piece of advice I could give you with that transition is remember that this is a season in their lives as much as it is a season in your lives. So as hard as it is for you to let go, you have to remember that for them, it's so important for them to be the little baby bird that's leaving the nest. So they're every bit as much as scared as you are. But I think that when we go through seasonal transitions in our lives, we tend to make it all about us. At least I do. I make it all about me. I have to tell you, my middle child, who I enjoy so much, who has been home, is going on to do his master's and he's going to Miami and he's going to be leaving in a couple of weeks. And last night I was lying there in bed going, I'm going to miss him so much. He's been home with me. And because he works for a bank from home, he makes me coffee every day at a certain time. No. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I'm making this all about me. What about him? This is so absolutely exciting in his life. This is like the next frontier for him. This is like a giant precipice for him. And he's ready to go on to the next chapter of his life. And the more I thought about that and the positivity of that, the easier it was for me to sort of say, I'm cool to let go. I'm cool to wish him well. I'm cool to send him on because, wow, this is so great for him. So, excitement will always trump self-pity and wallowing in, I'm going to be alone, and then saying to my husband, I'm going to be stuck with you. What are we going to talk about?
Man,
that's always the biggest challenge at that point.
We could talk to you all day, seriously.
So one final question. As a mom of 2, I have 2 sons, and you have 3 sons, and you've talked a lot about advice to the daughters out there, the girls. If you had advice for the sons, for the boys, and for moms of boys, what would that be?
Ooh, be nice to your daughters-in-law.
Oh my God, I love
I like that.
You know,
Okay.
I don't know. I got to tell you, I love being a boy mom. Boy moms are so great. Before we came on here, I was having some technical difficulties and your producer was laughing because I was screaming, come help me, because my boys are so good and they're so helpful.
Right.
And all I can think is I have to be so nice to my daughters-in-law because I want my guys to be around.
Oh.
Yes, really just model humanity and model humility for them so that when they go and look for a wife, they see that and they see, it's always been important for me to go to my kids and say, oh, I messed up, or apologize to them and say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Please forgive me. No, but mommy was tired, or, but I had such a hard day today, or, but I was struggling with this, or, but I had such a time. I don't do any of that. I'm sorry, I was wrong. Please forgive me.
That's great.
I think there is so much power in being a mother and letting your children see your humanity. I love my mom very much, but I never saw that in my mom. She was, a nurse, and she was professional, and she was always the best cook, the best this, the best organizer, the best everything. Yeah. And that really set me up to go, man, I have some hard apexes to reach. Yeah. So my kids, not that the bar's set low, but that's what it sounds like. But no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I feel like I've done a good job of allowing them to see my humanity.
Well, you are a great mom, we can tell, and
100.
a great person, and not a villain, an amazing, lovely lady. And we very much look forward to reading your book, Most Hated. I believe it came out in May, is that correct? So we can all pick up our copy?
It came out the end of May, and it is fiction. It's like a light summer read. So although there's all these layers, it's a fun story. It's funny. Like I said, there's romance, there's mystery. It's very light. You don't have to like reality television. Yeah. You just have to like women to read it. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the bricks and mortar stores, as well as your favorite local independent bookstores, because we have to support the independent bookstores. So go to your independent bookstore and ask them to order it, please.
I love that.
That'll be great. Well, we've loved having you. You are amazing. Where can everybody find you on social media?
I'm at myname.com. So it's Kara Alloway with a K, Kara Alloway, ALLOWAY.com.
Well, thank you, Kara. Thank you.
Instagram is also Kara Alloway. And if you read the book, let me know what you think, because the best part about being an author is hearing the feedback from readers. Yeah. I love that so much. That is my favorite thing in the world.
That is great. Well, thank you so much for being on. We've absolutely loved having you. And thank you, Zoomer moms. Yes. Thanks for all the moms being out here.
You guys.
And Kara, I have to say, Kara, you're the first guest we've had who's gotten practically a standing ovation from the people in the room. So congratulations.
No, these ladies are great. And you know what I love? I love talking and seeing them all smile and laugh and the little light bulbs go off. That was the best part. You guys rock.
Well, and that's our show motto as it happens. We're out of time, which is sad and shocking, but not unusual. But we're going to be back next time with more celebrities and extraordinary moms like all the moms that have been on this show today. We know that your me time is precious and valuable, and we want to thank everybody in the audience for listening and being here with us. And remember our Mom Club motto: if you don't laugh sometimes, you're going to cry,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
Nobody likes to cry. Everybody likes to laugh and have a good time. So keep laughing, moms. We'll see you next time inside the Moms Club.